Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I am here to talk about a series of books written by Jeff Stone called The Five Ancestors. Now, even though it's called The Five Ancestors, there seems to be 7 books in the series, so that actually confused me when I was younger, because I always thought there was only 5 books, but it turns out I was wrong, and there's actually 7 books in the series now, so I have to go and find even more books to read. Okay, a little bit of an overview of The Five Ancestors. So there's 7 books in it. So there's tiger, monkey, snake, crane, eagle, mouse, and dragon, all encompassing for this particular part of the series. So the first book, Tiger, kind of sets everything off in it. And you have 5 brothers in a temple in China, each who are like the youngest masters of their particular martial art. So you have Fu, who is the tiger master. You have Malao, who is the monkey master. You've got Se, who is the snake master. Hok, who is the crane master. And Long, who is the dragon master. And then their temple is destroyed by a brother who left them previously called Ying, who is the eagle master. And he is extremely jealous and upset that the Grandmaster chose Long to be the dragon and not him. So kind of teamed up with the Emperor of China and was like, we're going to overthrow this temple and kill them all, blah, blah, blah. All because he's jealous. Kung Fu Panda, anybody. So yeah, I read these back in 2005. So I rented it out from my local library, the first one, Tiger. Absolutely devoured it in like a day. I was so in love with this book. You wouldn't believe I talk for a living. So you follow Fu in the first one as all of his brothers are like scattered to the 4 winds because they managed to get away and they don't die, unlike the Grandmaster who perishes saving their lives. And it kind of follows him, and they're all told they need to find out the truth of who they are. And so each book kind of covers that. Now, I only read 3 of them. So I read Tiger, finished Tiger, ran back to my library the next day and was like, give me the next one, give me the next one. And then they were like, oh, the next one's called Monkey. And I was like, great, give it to me. And they're like, yeah, well, it's like 4 towns over, and there's like a 6-week waiting list to get this book. So I was like, I need it, put me on the list. So 6 weeks later, I get a call from the library and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, your book's coming. And I was like, wonderful. Ran back down to my library, picked it up, brought it home, devoured it. And then I had a bit of a dilemma because these had only been published in 2005. And then I don't think Snake was published until 2006. So I had a long time to wait. I mean, it probably wasn't more than about 6 months, but I was absolutely like, I need to read what happens next kind of thing in it. So then, yeah, I did eventually get hold of Snake, and I read Snake. Now, sometimes you see the main point of view is usually for whoever the book is named after. But you do sometimes see like snippets of, say, what was happening to one of the others as you were going along, just to kind of give you hints of information to make you keep reading. Which I thought was really good. So I read those 3, and then I moved from England to mainland Europe originally, and before I eventually settled where I am now. So they didn't have, there wasn't for me the access to as many books, because while I was learning the language of the country I lived in, and I did eventually become fluent in it, especially in the beginning, it was very hard to find books. So I'd have to find English language books for me to read before I got proficient enough in the language of that country, which is Spain, for those who were wondering. So my Spanish was pretty poor at the beginning. I actually learned medical Spanish a lot faster than I learned like normal Spanish, if that makes sense, because I was constantly in and out of hospital because even though we moved for my health, I was still pretty sick for the first 9 months of my life overseas, and then things started to improve, but still I spent a lot of time in hospitals compared to what I should do as a normal person. Yay for hidden disabilities. I kind of forgot about the books in that sense while we were overseas. I found other series that I fell in love with and things like that. But no, I then started thinking that, like, I remembered this series of books that was about, like, martial arts and China. But did I imagine it? Was it a dream? And so for a long time, because nobody knew the series of books I was talking about, I completely forgot about the series of books, because in my head it was like, no, this was a dream, I dreamt it. And then I was Googling one day, just like looking at books that I remembered reading, but I couldn't remember if it was a dream or if it was an actual, yes, you did read this. So typed in, you know, monkey, because I remembered there being like monkey, snake and tigers, because those were the ones I read. And I typed in martial arts, China, and, you know, martial arts, and like a lot of it brought up like Kung Fu Panda and stuff. But then I saw an article on the 5 ancestors, and I was like, that is ringing a bell. So I opened it, read through it, and it's like, it wasn't a fever dream. I actually did read these series of books, woo! And then I saw that there was more books out, and I was like, damn, I have a lot of reading to do. And ever since then, I've been looking to get my hands on them, and it's actually really difficult. I don't know if they're out of print or something, but like Book Depository doesn't have them. eBay is quite difficult. Like, they're on eBay, or some of them are on eBay, but they're quite pricey. So I'm like, and I haven't seen them in any charity shops or any secondhand stores that sell books. So I'm like, if any of you guys know where I can get my hands on this series, comment it down below so that I can go buy it and finish off the story. Because I really want to find out what happens and how it all gets tied together. Now, I could probably just Wikipedia what happens in each one, but I don't want to. I want to enjoy the experience of reading the books and living in the world of the 5 ancestors. Because I can't. Like, okay, so for me, it was the first time in my entire life that I read a series of books where China or Asia was the main focus, for the characters, for the setting, for everything like that. So, I mean, I've read a lot of like Nancy Drew, Goosebumps, Trixie Belden, Glitter Girls, but they're all books, again, that come from like America. So there would have been like people of colour and continental, and like there was characters in the books who represented, like, you know, Eastern Asia, China, Japan, Korea, those kind of things. And there was also, you know, African Americans and people of colour in it, in that sense. But they were never really the super main focus of the books. So for me, reading the 5 ancestors was the first time that I went, damn, yes, representation, just something different. And it was like, it was consuming. So I already had some knowledge of China and of Asia in general, because I was very fond of like Chinese food at that point. I was very fond of feng shui, which my mother was desperately trying to convince me out of at the time. I was really obsessed with like different cultures and different religions and different backgrounds for things. And I mean, reading the 5 ancestors really drove home for me, there's an entire different world out there that you haven't even experienced yet. And it was my first time consuming a medium that let me really like sink into that, because as much as I loved like Cardcaptor Sakura and Medabots as a kid, the dubs of it, and even Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, the dubs for them kind of tried to erase all of the Japanese aspect of it and make it like, oh yeah, this is American. And you were like, hang on a second, that's not American in the slightest. Like, you know, so, you know, with the Cardcaptors I remember, it was Sakura Avalon, and then instead of Toya, it was Tori, and, you know, Tomoyo became Madison. You know, they all westernized the names, and I know they said it was for children and to make it easier for children to like digest and enjoy, but at the same time, if you just from the get-go are like, here is this race of people, here is this race of people, you know, this is their culture and this is their backgrounds and this is what makes them amazing and unique, I think we'd probably raise a lot less racist assholes. Um, so that's just my own personal opinion, because racism is not cool and I will not support it in any sense of the way. So if I see anything to do with racism being mentioned in the comments down below, you will be instantly like deleted. Just, that's my policy. Like I said, love, light and acceptance. Those are my creeds. Please respect that, and I will respect you to a point, but I will not respect anything to do with racism. Just no. Anyway, Nyanko's tangent for the day. Sorry, going back to the books. So yeah, Fu actually I think was my favourite. I mean, it was the first one I read, and I really fell in love with him. Because he's feisty and he's, you know, tough as nails. He's kind of, well, he embodies everything that a tiger is meant to embody in like the Chinese zodiac and in like the martial art fighting style. And it's interesting seeing him figuring out his child, like his past and who his parents are. And again, the same with the next book, Monkey. You've got Malau. I think it's Malau. If I'm pronouncing these wrong, I do apologise. Who's like super cheeky, he's super funny, he's like, you know, acrobatic and everything. Again, embodying the monkey. You've got Seth, who is very, I think it's Seth or Seth. There's no T, so is it Seth? Please tell me, like, again, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please tell me how to pronounce it properly in the down low. Or give me the down low on how to pronounce it. So yeah, he's very cunning and slippery and able to avoid situations and stay one step ahead. And again, him finding out his past and his heritage is very good. I'd say I actually wanted to read Hawks the most, because they all mention how Brother Hawk was just odd compared to them. He'd never bathed with them, was very shy, very quiet, kind of kept to himself. And like they drop hints that Hawk was hiding big secrets. So I wanted to read that and find out what it was. Now I just have to try and get my hands on it. Ugh. More money, woo! And Long as well. I wanted to see more about Long because they don't mention much about him, and he's very quiet throughout the books. So it would have been interesting to see a book from his perspective. Now I know his is the very last in the series, and that actually only got published in 2010. So in the grand scheme of things, it came out ages ago, but at the same time, not that far apart in terms of like the publications of the books. I think he's also got out a new series of ancient ones called the Out of the Ashes, which I will have to look into because I want to find out what happens to all of them after what happens in the events of their original story. So that would be interesting to read. But no, I can definitely say, if you haven't read the Ancient Ones books, or the Five Ancestors, sorry, I'm getting... do go try and find them, see if they're in your local library, see if anybody you know might have them stored away in their attic, if they might have read them when they were younger. Try and maybe find them on Amazon or eBay or somewhere secondhand, because I really don't think they're in print anymore. I'll have to double check. If I find anywhere that has them in print, they'll be linked in the description. If I don't find them anywhere, there'll be no link, so you'll know. But no, it was intriguing, it was gripping, you fell in love with the characters, and it just like, it wasn't even like it dragged you along, it was like you got swept away in the world and you couldn't escape it. Like, it's like from the first page it had you hooked until you finished the book. Now I don't know if it's still going to be the same reading it again older, but I know from reading it when I was younger, it was a book series that was very much, you know, oh, page 1, oh, suddenly last page, wait, what? Where's the rest of it? There needs to be more. Pardon me. And that's something that I always look for in books, is because these days, if it doesn't grip me within the first chapter, I really struggle to actually want to finish it. So, spoiler, it took me 4 years to read through the first Game of Thrones books, and I'm not sure if I'm going to read through the rest of it, because while I loved parts of it, there were certain characters I just couldn't bear to read through. So it was like a real slog. So yeah, that one took me like 4 years to read through, and I still have like 5 more to go. Oh, save me. But no, it wasn't like that for Tiger or Monkey or Snake, and I'm hoping it won't be like that for the rest of the books when I get my hands on them, because I will at some point acquire the rest of the series so that I may read it and figure out what happens next. Now, I know usually in these videos I talk about a series of books that I have already read through, but I don't know, this book series came back to me again the other night, and I was like, no, I really want to talk about this, and I want to, you know, see if any of you guys have ever read the books, because no one I know has ever read them. And that actually really upsets me, because I'm like, but they're so good, how did you not know? So yeah, if you've read the series of books yourself, let me know. Tell me who your favourite character was, tell me which book was your favourite. Tell me if you saw any of the twists and turns coming when they popped up. You know, also tell me where to find them, to buy them, so I may finish the series myself. I may try and get down to my local library and see actually if they've got any in stock in Ireland, because that would be worth a shot. Because I have a load of books actually to donate to the library, so I may try that. I'll have to remember to do that. But no, I'm very glad it wasn't a fever dream, and I'm very glad that it actually does exist, because they're amazing. Do read them if you can get your hands on them. If not, if you have old copies of them, I may be willing to buy them from you. Just saying. If you're looking to make more space for new books. No, but other than that, I'd probably say there's not much more I can say on it, because I haven't read it all, which saddens me. But I will. It is now my new life mission to finish reading all of these books. But no, go give Jeff Stone a look. He does other works as well. His writing style is really good, and I cannot praise his books enough. They're amazing. Go get your hands on them whatever way you can. Shout his name from the rooftops, and maybe they might bring his stuff back into print. But no, other than that, just a short one this week. I will be hoping to make another longer video for the book series in the future. I just have to get around to reading the books. I've been terrible recently. I've been really tired. So, I don't know, just even watching TV has been really hard recently. All I want to do is sleep. It's I'm so tired. I don't want it today. And then suddenly 3 weeks have gone, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this weekly, and I need more book content, newer books to do, not just relying on stuff that I've read previously. But no, let me know if any of you guys are also struggling with energy levels and stuff, because I think sometimes it's something that people don't talk about enough, is in people who have disabilities that aren't visible. Fatigue is a big part of it. And when you're oh, I'm dead tired, people are you've got nothing to be tired about. And you're well, actually, my entire body just doesn't function like yours does. So yeah, if any of you guys are struggling with energy levels, let me know any tips that you do to help you boost your morale and your energy levels, be it just napping more, or maybe there's a certain tea you like to drink. That would be great too. But other than that, my kittens, take care of yourselves. Remember, mental health and physical health are must-dos to take care of. So go outside, sit in the sun, drink a cup of tea, even just have that 20-minute nap that you keep thinking I shouldn't have. Take care of you, because you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself first. Much love. Mwah! And I will see you in the next one. Ciao!